How excited are you to have SFA joining the Southland?
I think it's excited is an understatement of where we are as a league. Not only myself, but our board of directors, our athletic directors, our coaches. I think there's a lot of renewed rivalries, right? Even ones that weren't a rivalry consider themselves a rivalry now and have an opportunity to compete here, not only in Nacogdoches, but getting Nacogdoches fan base as well as the coaches and the great coaches here back to their campuses too. I think they're looking forward to the competition, but an opportunity to compete with a program that's had a lot of success overall, right? And for me, it was, yes, the athletic competition is great, but the alignment between the athletic director and president and to the university as a whole, and now with the new system affiliation too, it really spoke to me, and it's easy for me to go back to my board and say, this is the right thing to do right away. So that's why we're able to move so quickly. It wasn't a long, drawn-out process. Obviously, Michael started not too long ago, still trying to find his way certain places and figuring out together. But at the same point in time, I think a lot of familiarity to what we want to do. And luckily, we had a previous relationship, too, and have a previous conversation. So we knew each other, but we had never talked about something like this and going forward. But it made it that much easier when you have a great person that is strategic, but also bold in his decision making.
I was gonna ask y'all too about that because how did the conversations first get initiated? Who contacts who and all that?
Man, that's like, man, I'm letting my wife's know. You got to be thinking about first date and stuff. And so, where was I from?
Once Dr. Weaver was named the sole finalist, and I became interested in the opportunity here. One of the questions, obviously in looking at Stephen F. Austin and the history, one of my first questions was conference affiliation. Sure. What does that look like and opportunities? Because if you're in the business long enough and you have enough connections, you start to hear things. And so, as I've said many times before, where we call home is important because it's the foundation for everything that we do. And again, I mean, Chris and I have known each other a little bit from the past. Growing up in Texas, very familiar with the Southland Conference and have peers in the league. But then, if you spend 10 minutes with Chris Grant and understand the vision and how everything, he's talking about alignment here on campus. I'm going to extend it to how now we're aligned with a conference with similar vision and ideas for growth, and how athletic competition can certainly facilitate the growth of your institution in a lot of different things that we measure: enrollment, alumni engagement, all those things. But I mean, Chris and I started looking at things pretty early, and I think we both felt there's a lot of alignment, and I was hoping that maybe the ADs and the presidents would extend us an invitation, and it came together quickly because I think everybody's on the same page.
Basically, how have you enjoyed your visit here so far?
Loved it. I mean, from initial last night, we had a great gathering at the Fredonia Brewery. So the reception, they've laid out the purple carpet, more importantly. And I mean, just getting a chance to see all the facilities. My first time here, right, and seeing it all. I've seen plenty of film, video, and heard about the traditions and history. And I think a lot of good fan engagement on Twitter, X platforms, right, going a long way. So everything that I've heard or either witnessed online and watching games is come to life here. And, and truthfully, you think about it, like Stephen F. Austin is synonymous with the Southland Conference, right? You think about how many championships have been won, how many, championships have come through here, or the competition, and what people speak of and what they remember about the Southland. I was always asked, hey, when's Stephen F. Austin coming back, right? Why did Stephen F. Austin leave? And again, I wasn't here then, and so it made it that much easier. And it's not a coming back for us. We're in a new era, right? We're essentially a new conference if you truly look at it and peel back. Yeah, we have the same name, but new leadership, new branding, new members, along the way, and we're back at 12. So we have that stability, and more importantly, I talked about alignment there, here on campus, but you talk about our board of directors and our athletic directors, right? We're here to compete. No longer are we looking to be a stepping stone, play games, and roll the balls. We're here to win games, whether it's in conference play, but going on to postseason too collectively. So we've elevated scheduling, we elevated our technology and innovative methods. You've seen our external platforms, so hopefully fans are enjoying that and what we're rolling out there. And, we're not done yet. We're going to keep pushing the envelope, and, we'll see what comes from that. But more importantly, excited to be here and excited that a lot of my roads and travels will be coming through this gymnasium as well as the rest of the facilities here on campus.
All right. And think you kind of answered this, but I spoke with our AD about this a little while ago. How exciting is it for you, as far as the Southland Conference goes, that the rivalries that SFA will be bringing?
The rivalries, I mean, look, I don't know if I'm allowed to say the name down the road, but we all know where that is. I mean, they couldn't be it. Their athletic director and president were calling me nonstop because they were reading what's online, and I was like, hey, let's be patient with what we're doing. We'll see what happens. We like to do business the right way, and respect everything, and we're the previous affiliation, but we also wanted to approach it the right way and make it on our end an easy decision, because it's everything we've been working for since I took over in leadership. Is essentially build this league back in the way it should have been, the way I left it when I went away from the Dallas area and came back. And so essentially, I'm happy where we are, but I'm also not resting on our laurels. Like, I want to move this forward collectively, and I can't wait to get Michael and President Weaver involved in that, as well as the coaches that we've been visiting with all day today.
And how long have you been commissioner of the?
It's been since now December 21, when I was started as the acting commissioner, and April 22 when I officially took over.
Okay, gotcha.
When it comes from, because talk about the piece of not only adding Rio Grande Valley, and then how, from the standpoint of adding 2 universities from a conference alignment, how that impacts the Southland drastically.
Well, I mean, it's just so, when we were putting this together, we wanted to create more of a conference challenges and looking for, competition and building those rivalry. Obviously, RGV and Corpus Christi competed a lot against each other. They actually have that showdown, right, they compete against. And, we lost one of the main staples right here in the middle of the footprint. And so it was very important to me, because we had to go back to the drawing board and look up rivalries, and a lot of them still made sense, but I think it's created now that much more competition throughout the league that we've been playing each other collectively without Stephen F. Austin. Now coming back into the fold, as I said, you talk about a new league you're coming into. It's more competitive, right? It's more investments being made holistically, and it's a group of athletic directors and coaches that want to improve our brand and do whatever it takes to get there. So I couldn't be more ecstatic about that, being commissioner.
And this one goes to both of you. One point that, at least with the meetings that I've been able to sit in, was the cooperation from the other athletic directors when it comes to the openness and kind of building that. For you, Mr. McBroom, you had that impact, and how has that relationship have been with the other athletic directors so far from your perspective?
Well, the day we announced it, my phone blew up immediately from the other ADs in the league welcoming us. I think I mentioned it earlier today. When you're in a conference that and surrounded by peers that constantly want to get better and push the envelope, if you're not doing that in athletics, you're dead, right? It's always about getting better. And I think when you're aligned with in a conference with ADs and presidents that do want to genuinely get better and improve, and it's about and the reason is for the student athlete experience and the benefit to the institutions, right? If you can rise together, it's a much healthier environment. I think there's a purpose, a desire, and really a requirement to bring value. Every member needs to bring value to the conference, and as a result, we all get more valuable. But we also have a responsibility to bring value to each member individually. It's our goal to create a great environment here at Stephen F. Austin for our opponents to come in and have a great competitive experience. Obviously, where we win every single game. That's my expectation. I expect to win every single game, but we want to be a shining star for the Southland Conference. We want to give all competitors a great experience when they're here, and likewise when we travel. We want to have our fans go to those venues, and again, we want to win every game on the road. That's what we. But to go to places where athletics are valued, student athletes are valued, and as a group, it just creates. It's that genuine experience in college athletics that everybody strives for. It's what built the industry. Is that grassroots love and passion of fans, student athletes, coaches doing it for the right reason. And I think we found that here in the Southland Conference.
Yeah. And I'd like to add to that. Visiting with our student athletes here on campus, visiting our RGV, and of course, being out all last year, and our current student athletes in the Southland. as you talk about NCAA transformation is what our focus is all along, the North Star to student athletes, right? But I bring that back to this region, the most tradition-rich in talent and this rabid fan bases there are in Texas and Louisiana. So we have around our fingertips, and now going in one of the most central locations in our footprint and make some rivalries run through here is very exciting. Also knowing that our student athletes can still graduate, be in class, take those challenging degree programs that they're interested in, because they're competitive on the competition courts and fields, but they're also competitive in the classroom, and they're here for a reason. And that's the biggest difference from us and some maybe the Tommy Four conferences, that our student athletes are coming here to graduate, right, and getting that full student athlete experience. And if they're from outside of the footprint, their parents can still come here and be a gas tank away and hit every conference competition that they may participate in. And we look forward to that and really being engaging.
For either of you, at least from an SFA perspective, what do you guys think is the next steps for SFA? I mean, when it comes, we just announced the football schedule. Is there anything else that the SFA fan base or Southland fan bases can keep an eye out on?
Right. Well, I know everyone's asking about the other schedules, right? When they come in. So it's really, as you'll know, football is such a puzzle because previous agreements and other things that come into play, and homecomings, right? Making sure that some things are already planned accordingly. So I was very proud compared to some historically how we've done it, that we get that out right away. And that's from there, it's really a domino effect, because then you can plan out your volleyball and soccer and have an idea of availability. So with that said, schedules will be next, right? And then planning out, doing some innovative things. We talk about game of the weeks during the football season, right? Maybe even conference challenges on the basketball side, if we can find the right partner to do that. And again, we want to be accessible to this region if we create a challenge like that. And so, finding out who's not scared to play us, right? Because, we're here, you all have seen our tagline, it's Southland versus all y'all, and our membership believes in that. And again, we're here to compete, and we're here to take the nation by storm.
And hi, I have a question. Serenity from CBS 19 down in Tyler. Mainly just wanting to speak to the level of athleticism that the Southland Conference brings. This would be a question for either of you all.
Yeah, well, it all depends on what sport you're talking about, because I think each one brings their own differentiation, how we differentiate ourselves from the rest of the country, especially in mid-majors. I think what you all have seen, and actually I know, talk about our bat and ball sports. We was coming off of that baseball and softball. Softball goes to Alabama, it takes 2 games and puts Clemson out of the tournament in Southeastern. And then on the baseball front, they're right there, lose at the bottom of the 9th to a great UC Irvine team that won the Big West Conference. So with all that said, we have basketball, 12 seed, right? In McNeese, what they're able to do down the road. But that's not talking about teams that finish 1 through 5 in the league that have raised their profiles, that are invested in their programs, invested in their facilities. So when you talk about athleticism, you're talking about the overall student athlete experience, and they're coming from Texas and Louisiana, right? And doing that. And plus, we're actually competing and then putting on a better show than some of our counterparts in both states. And I'm really excited about that, because I know we're not done, and I know we haven't reached the goals of what we set forth. I continue that, and this being here today and continue this relationship only enhances that, and we're looking forward to it.
And then can you speak on the recruiting side? How does this help the Lumberjacks recruiting? Because we've had a lot of guys from East Texas commit here. So how have you guys seen the increase of just popularity with it?
Yeah, we talked about our footprint, right? I think the furthest distance away we looked at earlier is 450 miles going to RGV. So knowing that you can play in front of mom, dad, significant other, grandpa, grandma, whoever you want to come to the games, they can come here and catch the games here in Nacogdoches, or in that Southland footprint, most likely be able to catch a game wherever else, having 4 metropolitan cities to fly into, knowing you can get a rental car if you do that and drive throughout. It's phenomenal. And you name another league that can do it, might be one in the Big West, but having done those California trips, it's nothing like the Southland. And so in celebrating that, owning it, and now it's time to bring our cultures back, and magnify that and what we're doing here. Here, the Blueberry Festival's here this weekend. I was like, so, we're having a lot of blueberry cuisine along the way. And so with that said, look, how do we celebrate that and let people know what our communities are like? And let's create a tourism aspect to it too. And hopefully the ultimate goal is create more marketing opportunities and increase enrollment at all our campuses doing that.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, good. Thank you all. That's good.
Thanks, everyone.
Good job. Good job.